Yeah, good evening, Harita. Is this Harita or Ramya? Yeah, good evening, Harita. Is this Harita or Ramya? Harita, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Harita, can you speak a little bit loud? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I'm not able to hear. Yeah, that's fine. I'll go with the session. So in yesterday's session, let me see where I have stopped. So we had done till iframe. So now we shall move on to JavaScript. Okay. So before I told you that you can do CSS in three ways: inline, internal, and external. So here in the head tags you can have your internal CSS. So for now I'll remove this style, not needed for now. And inside this body tag you will have these HTML elements where you can write the HTML code to render in the browser. I'll just run this to make sure. So this is what we did yesterday. So in today's chapter what I'm going to do is that JavaScript. So if you want JavaScript code, I'll remove this iframe. It looks a bit odd here. So here below the body tag, I'll be writing the script tag. So inside this you will be having JavaScript code. So I'll let you give you some hint. So here I'll write an alert, and I'm going to write welcome to my page. So if you go here, look, it is saying welcome to my page, and you know this JavaScript will make your page dynamic. Means your page, whatever you do, right, it makes like to have an interaction with the user. For example, you might have seen some websites where you have to enter your name first. So after entering your name, the web page will say welcome along with your name. I'll show you what JavaScript is all about. So here what I'll do, I will add one h3 or else h2. Yeah, let it be h2. I told you ID will be used a lot in JavaScript, right? This is where it is coming to picture. And here I'm going to write a var name. This is a variable, no need to worry. Not knowing all these things, you will eventually when we start JavaScript. And here we'll be using a prompt, which is like an alert which takes input. So here I'm going to write enter your name, enter your name, and here we have some inbuilt method where we can do document dot get element by id dot inner HTML is equal to, here I have to give that id xyz, and now here I'll use template literal and I'll write welcome, and I'll write this variable name where it is going to assign. Sorry, I should be writing the name here and this welcome outside. Yeah, look now, if you go here, it will ask for enter your name. Suppose if I have to write my name Vikas here, it will say welcome Vikas. Now if someone comes into my web page, Harita, if you click OK, it will say welcome Harita. And if someone else tries to get into my web page at the start, they will ask for name. Only after entering name, it will show the name. So this is about JavaScript. So here in the JavaScript, what else you can see? A JavaScript makes HTML page more dynamic and interactive. That is what I try to do here. The web page will be more interactive from JavaScript. The HTML script tag. The HTML script tag is used to define a client-side script. So here, as I said, whatever you want to do with JavaScript code, you have to write it here inside the script. If you place it here, it won't work. It should be always within the script. And then you have the script element either contains script statements or it points to an external script file through the src attribute. Common uses JavaScript are image manipulation. Image manipulation means like you have an image. When you click onto that image should get zoomed. That is image manipulation. And form validation. You might have heard about this, like when you are trying to register into something, and if you give some fault text, like if they will be asking like password should contain at least a special character. If you don't give that, it will show an alert, password is not valid, right? That is nothing but validation, form validation and dynamic changes. So when you click onto some text, it will change. So that is what it is going to happen with this JavaScript. Look here, they have this code, document.getElementById demo. I'll make sure whether is it recording or not. Yeah, it's recording. Yeah, then you have to select an HTML element. JavaScript must often uses a document.getElementById. I told you, right? ID will be used more in JavaScript. This is the main thing. So next we shall see. No script tag. Well, this tag will contain something. I'll just copy this and I'll place it here and I'll write XYZ and I'll go here. If I refresh, if I enter the name, look, nothing that much of a thing here with no scripts. And next we shall see what we have. You have file path. So what is this file path? You have absolute file path and relative file path. Suppose if I have to display an image here, what I'll do, I'll just remove this prompt script I'll remove. I'll just comment this off. So yeah, no need. Now if I refresh, there will be no prompt. Suppose if I have to display an image, img with a self-closing tag. And here I'm going to write src, and here I have to give the image name. So I'll go with logo, logo, logo.png, and if you see here, you got this image. But this is my main folder. Inside this folder, I'll create another folder with the name pic. So I'll move this logo inside this pic. Now if I move here, and now if you see here, it won't show because you have to give the path correctly. Now it is not a relative path. It is not a relative path. It is an absolute path. Now you should give the relative path for this. So you have to write in the current folder, which is HTML. You have this pic folder. Inside this folder, you have this logo. This is what you call it as relative path. Now the image is getting displayed. If you write just as an absolute path, it won't display there. If you try to do as before, it won't display there. Sasi. If I try to do here logo.png, it won't work. Logo.png. Look here, this image is not displaying. This is relative path, this is absolute path. The absolute doesn't work. Absolute only works where you have this file in the same folder. Here HTML is the current folder. Instead that you have a picture folder, you have to give the path in such way. So now if you look now you can display both the images. So that is about this absolute path and relative path. So now I'll move on to next. So here if you see, this is all about head tags. The head element is the container for the following elements: title, style, meta, link, script. Means you had your web page, you had given the logo. Before you try to give the logo here, all these things should be inside the head tag. Look here, this logo is not working. I'll make flower to work there. Look now, the logo will be of flower. So that is what the explanation here is all about. The HTML head element. The head element is a container for metadata, data about data, and is placed between HTML tag and the body tag. HTML tag and the body tag. In between this, you have this head tag. HTML metadata is the data about the HTML document. Metadata is not displayed. Whatever you type here, it won't display here in the body. It will be at the top. Like you have used the tags, that is why it is at the top, but whatever you do, it won't display here. Next, we shall see what they have. The HTML title element. Title means the thing what you are seeing here, my web page, that is nothing but the title. The title element defines the title of the document. The title must be text only, and it is shown in the browser's title bar or in the page tab. The title element is required in HTML documents. The contents of a page title is very much important for search engine optimization. What you mean by this search engine optimization means whenever you want to Google something to search, there will be a search engine optimization done where that particular page should come first based on these titles. So here they will be doing this SEO. The page title is used by search engine algorithms. No need to learn algorithms and all these things. You just know this title will help for search engine optimization to decide the order when listing pages in search results. The title element defines the title in the browser toolbar, provides the title of the page when it's added to favorites, displays a title of the page in search engine results. The style element is used to define style information in a single HTML page. As I said, internal styling can be done inside this head file. The link element defines the relationship between the current document and external source. As I said, look, this is the link tag, self-closing tags which will be used in the head. This is to connect external file. So next you have this example. You can go through this example, and here you have this meta element. This meta element is nothing but it is used for responsiveness. So what is responsive? You have built this web page. Now this web page has to be viewed in mobile. If you have that curiosity, you can do here. Look, this is how it is going to look in the mobile. Look, if I refresh, it is not looking that great. The texts are not looking good. What I'll do, I'll take this meta and I'll copy and I'll paste it here in the head tag. And now if I go there, I'll refresh. Yeah, it is still looking quite the same, but this meta tag will help you for the responsiveness. So I'll copy this. Sorry, instead of this I should have gone with this meta tag. And look now, I can search with different. So how it is looking for iPhone, how it is looking for Galaxy phone, how it is looking for iPad, all these things I can check here. So this will be the screen size there. So to make this responsive, right now I have not done any CSS, and when you want to do this responsiveness, so when you open in a bigger desktop, it should be of red color. When you open in a smaller view, it should be of green color. So like this, if you want to make designs based on the display size, that is nothing but responsiveness, and you have to do with CSS. And with CSS you have to add this viewport. The viewport in the user's visible area of a web page, it varies with the device. It will be smaller on a mobile phone than on a computer screen. So that is about the viewport. So next you have this layout. So what exactly is a layout? Layout is nothing but what you are trying to see here, right? Look here, I have this closing and opening. Here this thing we call it as a nav bar, which we can do in the header section. So it says defines a header for a document of a section. So this will be the header part. Next, nav. This nav bar is, if you look here, there will be some text over here like menu, home, product, services, contact us, and here what you are seeing, right? These are all nothing but nav. Section means from here to here, this is one section. After that, from here to here, this is one section. Those are nothing but section tags, section elements. Article means like here in the same section, if you want to divide the screen, this part you can fill it out with article tags. Aside, as the word says aside, this is what aside means in the side. Defines the contents aside from the content like a sidebar. This is whole is a content. On this whole page, this is a aside content. And then you have this footer, where the content will be displayed at the bottom. So this is about footer. Details and summary, not to worry, it's almost same element. Additional details to the user can open and demand. So how to create it? You can create it with inside the body, open header tag, header. Here you will have the start of web page heading, navbar. Then you have this aside tag where you will be having this thing you will be having sidebar, and next you have section. I'll write I am a section, and inside this section you are going to have an article. I am an article, and down below you will have this footer where you will get about the last page. I am a footer. But if you see, nothing will be designed there. It will be some text. Look here. I'll just go this. Look. It is one by one, but you have used these tags, elements, and you have to come to the part where it says HTML layout. This is a layout, what I said, right? These are nothing but layouts, and these layouts will work on HTML techniques, layout techniques. You can build like this using framework, float property, flexbox, grid. When we start with CSS, right, we will be covering up these topics. So you got the idea about this thing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And Harita, I wanted to ask you one more thing. So the session what I have taken so far, have you been practicing to build web pages?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, yeah, if you don't mind, can you share the screen and show me how, like what web pages you have built so far?
You told me in the first class I tried that, sir.
Yeah, it's okay. Even if you have created a small web page, that's okay. I just wanted to see how you have tried. That's it. Can you share your screen?
No, sir. I'm using tabs, sir.
Oh, yeah, okay then. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So you can send me pics of the web pages what you have built, okay?
Okay, sir.
Then you have this forms. So responsiveness, as I said, look here in the responsive, the first thing what you come across is this meta tag. As I said before, it is used for responsiveness, like in the mobile will be a small width. The size of the screen will be small. How the web page should display there, and for a laptop or a desktop, the screen size will be larger. So there how the content should look. For this you will be calling as responsive, where you will be writing CSS code and some media queries. This will help you for understanding. Look here, media queries. This is about CSS, internal styling, where you will do, right? There we will be using this. So for now, I won't be continuing with this topic. I will start this when we start with CSS. So you have to know some CSS properties before getting into this media queries. So now I'll go for the next thing, which is forms. So how to create a form? Like you might have seen when you started with registering in Amazon, Flipkart or any application, they will ask for your name, email, mobile number, address, everything they will ask. It will be in the form of a form. That form is nothing but HTML form, what you are viewing there, and I will show you how to create this. So I will remove this layout. So to create a form, you should write form tag, form element. So inside this, you will be having the input tag. So I'll write input. It's a self-closing tag as like image, and here I'm going to write type text, txt text, and if I save this, you can go and see here, it will be somewhat like this. And here I can give name for it. To give name for your input, you have to use label above it. So here label is not self-closing tag, it is an opening tag and a closing tag. Here I will write name. So now if you see, this is how the form will be. So now I will create 3 tags of the same. I'll just copy paste these things, 1, 2, 3, and I'll give some space. I will add BR tag. So there will be some space. Break will break it in the next line. Look here. Here it is looking somewhat odd, right? I will break. If I use a break tag here, it will be going for the next line. So I will add another break tag, and I will do the same for all the 3. And I'll give some space so that you can get to know what is what. So now if I save this and look here, you have these things. So you need a placeholder. Like if someone comes name here, if you want to describe something for the user who is going to fill this, you can use placeholder. Using placeholder, you can write please enter your name. Please enter your name. Look here, it will say please enter your name. Then you can click here and you can write your name. So I'll change this to email, and then this to mobile number, mobile. And here if you observe, I'll be writing the placeholder here as please enter your email. Please enter your email. And here please, sorry, I should use placeholder first. Placeholder, please enter your mobile number. So if you see, you have these 3 things: name, email and mobile. So this is the form what you see, and you might have this curiosity, like if I enter my name, how it is going to the server. These things you can start worrying about it once we start JavaScript. So as of now you are studying HTML, you should only focus on how to display things in the browser. So if you want to display a form in your browser, this is how you are going to do it, and still you have many more. And here when you say mobile, you cannot, it should not accept letters, right? But it is accepting. If you want only to number, you should do this type number. So now if you go here, I'll save this. If you go here and if you type alphabets, it won't take, only it takes numbers for mobile number. And for email, if you want only email to be taken there, you should write type email. You will get to know about this validation when we start JavaScript. Like email should be valid, number should only consist of 10 numbers, name should start with caps, password should contain 8 characters. All these things we can learn about it once we start JavaScript. So as of now, as I said, just worry about displaying there. So now coming back, we shall see an HTML form is used to collect user input. The user input is the most often sent to a server for processing. Like the data what you fill, right? This data is often sent to the server for processing to store in the database. The form element, I told you, right, opening and closing tags. The HTML form elements is used to create an HTML form for user input. The form element is a container of different types of input elements such as text field, checkboxes, radio, buttons, submit buttons. You will learn this eventually. I will come up with every example. The input element, I have written here input, right, self-closing tag. This is the input element. About that we can see some description. The HTML input element is the most used form element. There are many form elements, but this will be the most used one. Like this, entering the name, email. This is what in self-closing input tag means. So this is the most often used HTML form element. So after that, the input element can be displayed in many ways depending on the type attribute. Type means this is what type. For text, it accepts text. For type, it accepts only email. For type, it accepts only number. For number, I have told you how it takes number. For email, you need a button. You need a button which says on click on submit, where then you can know about email, how it will take only email. So until that you can know there's a type email. I will let you know more about it as the session goes on. So next what you have, like you have many more. You have input type text, displays a single text input field. This is what text means. And then you have input type radio. Radio means you can either select one. So I'm going to say here, I will use input type, and type will be radio. And here I will add a label, and I will add here beacon. It is a self-closing tag. So if you see here, you have this beacon. Alright, I will copy paste 3 courses. So you can have 3 options for that. 1, 2, 3. Beacon, BCA, BBA. So here if you see, you have this BCom, BCA, BBA. You can select any one, that is radio. For now, it is going to select all the things. What I will do, it should select only one. So here I will use the name attribute, name, and I will write degree. And I will paste this name attribute for all the 3, because all the 3 are nothing but a degree, a graduation degree. Now if you go, you can only select one. Look here, you cannot select multiple. So if you have come across this form, this is how it is going to look. You can select only one out of the 3 choices. You can select only one. So that is about radio. And now you have the same thing which we call it as checkbox. So we have type checkbox. I'll show you the difference. So here as you can see, I'll just add a break tag, or else I can add an HR tag. This is the round shape input radio. You cannot multi-select. You can only select any one from the options. Checkbox means you can multi-select. So the radio means it is round in shape while you are selecting, and you can select only one out of the any options. If you have not given this name, it won't. You can select all the 3. Here out of the 3 degree, select any one, because you cannot be doing all the degree at the same time, right? You can do any one. So here this is radio, you can select only one. Here checkboxes, you can multi-select. You can select all the 3, or you can select only one. Got the difference between checkboxes and radio, Harita?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. This is Ramya, sir.
Yeah, sorry, Ramya. Yeah, you got how to do that?
Yes, sir.
So next we shall go with the next example. You have submit. So what is this submit? Submit means this is form. Inside a form, if you have a button, this will help you with type submit button. Look here, I'm going to write send data. So this will be a button, right? Look here, send data. So instead of this button, you can do it with this input tag only, input tag, and here you have to give type submit. So it will display as a button. You can give it as submit. Look now, it is submit. If you want to change the value, change the name of the button, you can come here and write value send. Look now, it is sent. So this is when you do a type submit for an input, it will behaves like a button. What it does, it behaves like a button. So next, moving on, we shall see what we have. Input type button. Yeah, this is submit, and you can also do for button. it will still be the same. So if I change the value post, it will turn into post. So get to know the facts about it. Next you have text field. So this is nothing but the text field. The text field, when you use the input tag and it has a label for it and it has a placeholder to enter something inside of it, it is literally nothing but a text field. Look here, text, input type text defines a single line input field or text input. This is a text input. You are going to enter the text. This is what text input or text field means. So after that you have the label element. So the input field what you have, right, for that you should give the name. This is literally nothing but the name, which you can do with label tags. So if you see my code, I have used label for each and every input field I have used. So here for checkbox and radio, I have used the label right after the input. So this is how it is going to look. Next you have radio buttons, and I have told you already how radio buttons work. You can select any one option out of this multiple options. And then you have checkboxes. Checkboxes means you can multi-select the options. So you have these examples to practice. I have typed there without taking any example as a reference, but you can copy the code from here and you can check there how you can create a checkbox or a radio and to know how it works. Yeah, we shall move on to the next topic. Submit button. As I said, if you use input type submit and value, it becomes a button. It behaves like a button and it helps you to click on click function where it will go there. So next we shall see what examples we have. The name attribute. So for now you don't worry about this value and name. Value means, look here, right now it is empty. By default, if a value should be placed there, you can write here in the same input element, you can use here name, sorry, not name, it should be value, and I'll type here Harita, sorry Ramya, I will type Ramya here. If you see, look, Ramya is here. I have not typed, it is coming from the back end. Sorry, not from the back end, it is coming from this attribute where you are initializing the value. So this value can be erased and can be written again, but here it won't change. To make this, whatever the value you changed and that value should go to the server, you have to learn about JavaScript. And as of same like value, you have name attribute. Here you can have the name attribute, name. So that the name of this attribute now it will be Ramya, the name of this attribute. So you might not see, sir, what the name attribute is doing here. You will get to know about all these attributes, as I said, when we start with JavaScript. So next what we have? Yeah, we have this form elements, the form attributes. Yeah, I think for today that's enough. It might be bulky for you. So you are still starting. You have to get to know these things. So once you move on with these things, then we can continue with much more topics. Because if I do more topics now, it will be more for you to practice. So I'll go with less content, so you can practice less and understand more. Once you develop that skill to understand how HTML and CSS works, then we can cover more topics. It will be easy for you to understand. Is it not? It's true, right?
Okay.
So for today, I will wind up this session. Tomorrow, I will let you know more about these forms. Look here, you have more type here. Like for each type, for button how it looks, checkbox, square box, color, date, name, local, all these things I will explain tomorrow. So for today, I think this much is enough. And one more thing, you have to practice every day, day in, day out. Okay, whenever you have time, I will share the video.
Sir,
Hello.
that means, wait.
You have joined from 2 accounts.
Yes, sir. That's my account. This is my sister's account, right?
Yeah, from tomorrow on you can join from your account only.
No, sir. I wanna share the screen. What I practice.
Oh,
I wanna show
yeah,
you.
yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, you can share your screen.